Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it dope strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with how it plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Eric and Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all never time. You can't make up your mind, then just go with your gut. Fantasizing Tasha Cloud, Gabby Williams said watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I played the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them. Let's fucking go, we about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go, we going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks.
All right, what is up, crew? We got a jam-packed day today. It's Thursday, September 15th. We have WNBA and NFL starting around the same time, so we're gonna try our best to get through this. And we got a full crew with us to get through it. So, how are we doing today, fellas?
Good, man.
Doing good.
Don't sound too
Well.
excited.
Saving our energy for the good
All right.
good plays we got coming up.
I'm still emotionally distressed by Luca, so I'm getting over that.
Don't say his name anymore.
Yeah, just everything went wrong. He gets injured early in the game, lower back, and then he fouls out at the end of the game. So, just a bad beat. But
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna cover Euro basketball at the end too, because they have some props on Underdog, and we'll cover Underdog for WNBA as well. But yeah, we can go over the Eurobasket after we do WNBA, and then we'll close it out with some of our favorite NFL props for tonight and for the Sunday main slate games. All right, let's just get into it because we have to get through this. So we have Game 3, and now it's in Connecticut for the first time. Vegas had to travel all the way to the East Coast. And Game 2. Yeah, this is more of what I expected in Game 1. More of a lopsided affair here. I mean, Connecticut, they did their usual thing offensively. I mean, they put up, around 70. That's what I expect for them, 70 to 80. But the big key difference was the points in the paint was reversed from games 1 and 2. The Vegas really focused on scoring in the paint. This is something Becky talked about in their post game and wanted to make it an emphasis. You see that Vegas scored 46 points in the paint while Connecticut scored 28. That was a big difference from Game 1. It was flip-flop because Game 1, Connecticut outscored Vegas in the paint by double. So, yeah, that was a big difference. And what we kind of predicted in the last stream that Becky would wanted to get Plum KP going. And the way to do that, she wanted her to drive to the basket. And she did that. She forced it in the paint, and that opened up a lot of things scoring-wise in the paint. She ended up taking more field goals than threes, which is abnormal for her. Majority of her shot volume is from the three-point line, but she is struggling still. She shot 1 of 6 from 3, so she got it done all in the paint. And another big emphasis Becky talked about after this Game 2 was rebounding, because she said she went back and looked at the film from the Chicago-Connecticut series and just saw how Chicago lost every game on the glass and was a big reason they lost that series. So she said, it was a big emphasis getting bodies down there to, to really focus on boxing out and getting those boards and preventing offensive rebounds, second chance points. So I expect the same focus for Vegas today. They're gonna probably try to have the same scheme. One thing to point out, Becky said that the zone defense was kind of getting exposed in game 2. Connecticut found some ways to get around it. So they had to switch off of that, but she would go back to it every now and then. But essentially, when Connecticut would go big, the way they would fight the zone is they would let Alyssa Thomas run the point more. Go back to that, which is what they've done in the past all season, which is why AT racked up a lot of assists this season. So we might see more of that. We might see AT go back to her point playmaking ways in order to fight that zone. And but Becky said the counter, what they did is they started putting Chelsea on AT more and just having Chelsea shadow AT and try to hold her own against her. Those are just key things I wanted to point out. Adjustments, the fine details of the last game. But yeah, things obviously change game to game in a series. So I'll kind of just go over quickly what I think is going to happen in the game, and each of you can give your game script, and then I think the props will be able to. Individual props will be able to get through quickly, so we can focus on everything and get through all the sports and props. So I think Connecticut, they're 1-point favorite. So obviously Vegas thinks that they're going to put up a fight, and it could be a close game, much more so than game 2. And they also Vegas really lowered the point total. Last game it was like around 165. Now it's at 160 even. So Vegas thinks that it's going to be a battle and a low-scoring game, which is kind of my theory too. I think that Connecticut, the only way they're going to win is they're going to have to try to slow down this powerhouse offense the best that they can and muck up the game, cause turnovers, get transition points, and just really focus on defense. And they're going to have to go all in, and this is it. If they lose, it's over. It's done. There's no tomorrow. So I kind of think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a probably more low-scoring game, kind of like what Game 1 was like. I mean, both teams are still shooting terrible from 3 in both games 1 and 2, both below 30%. Let's see, Connecticut shot 3 of 14, Vegas shot 6 of 26, and still won by double digits. But I think Connecticut's really going to focus on trying to limit those points in the paint and try to get back to dominating that that aspect of the game. So that's kind of what I think. I don't know necessarily if Connecticut's going to win, but I do think that it could be a defensive battle, especially when you have an elimination game. That tends to what happens is the defense usually rises over offense in these type of games. What do you guys think game script wise? And then we'll just jump right into Vegas, the visiting team. Let's start with you, Vince.
Oh man, you pretty much hit the nail on the head for me. Like I was thinking about it before stream, and that's how it's gonna be. We've seen that Con plays their best ball in messy ball. Like they love to just muck it up. They love to just like get the other team just out of rhythm. And even if it comes at the cost of their own offense, it still works because a lot of those teams will get held to 70 points or below, and that just makes it easier for Con to get there because I mean they're scoring on average around like 70-ish points. So I mean it makes it easier for them. It makes the game a lot closer for them. So I completely 100% agree with that. I think that it's going to be a lower scoring game. I think Vegas is right. I think it's going to be ugly. Like I think it's going to be a lot of things to kill assist props. There's going to be a lot of things to kill point props, and it's just going to be a battle. Like it's going to be a fight.
For sure. What do you think, Cade?
Yeah, I agree. They got to muddy it up, and I think game 1, they knew they missed that opportunity to win that game. They held them to like 65 points, and I think they all knew it. Even in the post game, they knew it. I think they're gonna have to try and replicate that game plan they had. So, and from what I took away from game 1 is they threw like 6 different defenders on Chelsea, and they're like, we're gonna give her so many different looks that she can't create like her own shot like she usually can. And I think they're gonna have to get back to that in this game. Otherwise, I mean, because as you said, the team's not shooting very well from 3, especially Plum. So they're probably going to say, okay, we'll let Plum beat us shooting 3s, But we can't let Chelsea shoot threes because she's hitting all those threes. As you saw last game, she came back from the injury and hit 2 straight, just like fully contested threes, kind of and 1 4-point play. It's like they can't let that happen again. And as you said, they're going to have to keep it a low scoring game. So yeah, I totally agree with you guys. They have to make it low scoring or they don't have a chance. Vegas has to have 70 or less points, I think. Maybe 75 points or less, or they have no
75 or less.
Yeah,
I
completely agree with
that.
Completely agree.
Eric, what do you think? Is it a wrap for Connecticut? Is Vegas gonna win their first championship and hang the banner for the first time?
I would honestly be surprised if Connecticut didn't win tonight, just to at least extend the series one more game. But Vegas has been, I mean, the clear-cut number one team all season. I don't think there's been any question about that. And now coming towards the end of the season, one of the best recipes for beating Vegas has either been outscore them on the perimeter and beat them with the 3-ball, which Connecticut cannot do. I mean, they have when we're talking about JJ is number 2 in 3-point attempts, like we're in a dangerous territory. So I don't think that's an option for them. It could always happen, I mean, Bonner can get hot or Heidemann, in that first game carried them pretty far, but we're asking a lot for some of these players, and especially Connecticut, they have a little bit more fatigue, like 2.5 days less rest than what Vegas had to open the series out with. So there's a lot of things that could come back down to earth tonight. I agree with the Chelsea. Like, she's just got to come back down to earth at some point, or Connecticut has to do something about her. Otherwise, she's just going to keep running this game. And I would love to see the game be wrapped up, the series be wrapped tonight, and we can be done with this. But I got a feeling we'll get a lot of favorable foul calls for Connecticut tonight.
Yeah, they increased so they went from game 1, they only had 5 free throw attempts. In game 2, they ended up with 21. That's huge, just 4x difference. And Brianna Jones is a big reason for that. She took 10 free throws. And it's still so surprising that Bonner is not getting to the free throw line. I mean, if you've looked across the season and especially in the playoffs, she's been like getting to the line frequently and racking up free throws. So that's really surprising. I think this is back-to-back games without free throws for her. We'll get into her when we get to Connecticut, but yeah, I think they're gonna the calls, those kind of like 50-50 calls, I think tend to go more so not only for the home team, but a team that's facing elimination, potential sweep, that I think the refs in the back of their mind want to know what's at stake for the league and want to keep the series alive. So I'm with you on that. Yeah, let's just dive into Vegas. So going back to Plum and how they used her, and Becky wanted her to be aggressive and attack the paint. It was funny because Asia, after game 1, went up to Plum and said, "You need to get your shit together." And she just was outright open about this. In the post game after game 2, she said, "Yeah, I told her she needs to get her shit together. We need her." And I think not only Becky game planning for Plum to be aggressive and drive, but I think that also woke her up, because even Chelsea Gray said that Plum was not the same in the locker room after game 1, and she just wasn't her normal. And even in the Seattle series, said just in the locker room, she wasn't her normal KP. They call her, it's like her alter ego. I think it makes sense I don't see why they wouldn't go back to this, because she is the X factor, because we know Asia is going to get it done. We know Chelsea is going to get done. So Plum is really, her offense and scoring is really needed to put him over that edge and secure that lead that Connecticut, can't overcome. So I'm on the fence about her. I might just overall fade, just because if she stays aggressive and she's getting these like high percentage shots and getting to the free throw line, I considered her under 18.5 points, because she barely got over that with her best game of the series and her best game in a while in the playoffs. She finished with 20 points, and her line's back at 18.5. So I for her, I probably only consider maybe her 1.5 turnover and maybe her 3 free throws. But yeah, you're hoping that the refs are going to give her the call. So, and her turnovers, if she's not handling the ball, she goes back to where she passes it off and goes to the corner, then that's going to be a hard one to sweat as well. I think we're on agreement on other lines though for Vegas. I mean, I think overall though that Vegas is not appealing today just due to game script and the lines being so juiced. Like, if we think that Connecticut's going to clamp down on defense, then like Kate said, you're going to have assist potential lowered, you're going to have points lowered. So if you're going to have all those just slightly lowered from what they've been in this series, with these props lines being so juiced, it's going to be hard for them to get over. And then that's when you have to start considering under. So let's start with Chelsea, and then we'll move to Asia. And maybe we can carve out some unders here. I know it's scary with Chelsea how productive she's been, but she barely got over that 31.5 PRA last game because she hit some crazy threes there at near the end. So sorry, you, Cade. How confident are you if with this game script and theory on Chelsea, and if they not only focus on stopping her, but also just Connecticut playing overall better defense, how confident are you going under on her PRA? In the books, people are heavily going under on her 20.5 points. It's at minus 140 right now. I mean, she barely got over that in the game 1 and 2. She finished with 21 points in both games. That kind of makes me scared because she's going to chuck. But the PRA, if we think like you said, the assists go down, I can see that. And in the rebounding, she's going to get like only a few, 2 to 3. So talk to us on that, and how confident are you on the under on her?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. As I said, she hit those 2 BS 3-pointers that are just like, I'm not going to say BS, but like those, if it was any other player in the game, they wouldn't have made it. She came back from injury and she still went over. Well, she played her normal minutes, so she just went out for a normal run. I think when they went to the locker room, they were just making sure everything's fine. There was no concern about her actually missing any part of the game. So she just played her normal minutes and just barely went over by 1. And if she didn't get the and 1 call on the 3-pointer, she would have gone under. It's like she got a like 8 assists or something. She got just enough points, just enough assists, just enough rebounds to go over it. And they really didn't game plan for her well, because once Plum was driving on a dominant hand, and they didn't guard Chelsea the same at all. She just took over the game. So I still like the under. And for the fantasy score, I know some people are talking about under the fantasy score. I wouldn't do that under the fantasy score for this game. As I said, she's going to fall into some stocks, 1 and 2 stocks. She's been more cautious about turning the ball over. And the assist's going to rack up fast. So I wouldn't do under on the fantasy score, just the PRA.
Okay. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, and I was just gonna kind of tack on to that this last game too. I know we were kind of sitting pretty for a while, and the 3 stocks that she had, all 3 of those resulted in immediate points too. And I believe one of them, she hit a 3 or hit a 2 and an and 1 or something. But you know, if that didn't happen, we were, I think, on track to have her unders pretty safe. But you know, that last little bit of fourth quarter was really brutal. So I think that I definitely agree. Maybe don't go for any kind of stock upside, and let's just go for low game total. You know, Vegas has a game that they can give, and we saw last game that Williams, she played almost 18 minutes, and even Hamby, she's pushing double digits in her minutes now. So it's not like we're still the same small ball unit that Vegas has, where they're just starved for players and 7 active members and 6 people playing. So they have a little bit of depth, and they have a game that they can give if they want to take the night off tonight. So there's definitely a lot of things that could come back down to earth, and if they so choose. And just another little tidbit. So far, every of the finals game have been sold out within the hour that they posted tickets. So if they're filling up games,
that's in Vegas though, right?
Yeah, so far I haven't checked out for today, but I know that Vegas sold out in the first hour that they posted their tickets both days.
Yeah. Well, I saw that Connecticut, they're trying to bus in people and giving free tickets away to try to fill the arena, because they've actually in the semifinals they were averaging around 5,000 to 6,000 attendance, and Vegas has been setting records at 10,000 plus. So it sounds like Connecticut's trying to get trying to increase the crowd, because they're busting in people from YMCA and different organizations, charities. So I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean that's going to be interesting tonight. It's obviously do or die for Connecticut. I think for them, their game plan has to be slow down Asia. They're not stopping her, but slow her down and try
Right.
and isolate Gray as much as possible and put the ball in the hands of somebody else.
Yep. Oh, speaking of Asia, let's just move to her. Unless if you had anything on Chelsea.
Not really. Me personally, I'm just going to fade her altogether tonight. She's too much of the wild card for me.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
talking about
forgot to
Plum?
say this. So in the post game for the Connecticut players, and the coach, they literally asked like, "How are you letting Chelsea do this to you?" They're like, just like the most disrespectful questions. How can you possibly let her do this? Like it's coming and you don't stop it. Like why?
The
He's
young
like,
man was like,
yeah,
he was like,
yeah, and they
for
just
lack
laugh
of,
it off. These players, I think they're really gonna play carefree. Like I can see a ton of mistakes, but they're going to be super aggressive. I feel like going for
yeah,
every single like passing lane, overcommit. They just really did. They didn't seem like they were like locked in. They were just out there just playing fun. That's how they said they did last series against Chicago. They're like, oh, we went down. We didn't even we weren't locked in. We were just out there having fun. So I think it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Asia's props are at all-time high. They got juiced even though she didn't clear last game. They still got juiced. Fantasy's what at 45.5. PRA's up at 36.5. She has been getting assists. This is something we talked about. She's every time she gets the ball, she's looking to score, which I think Becky's probably hammering in even more so than telling her. Because in the regular season, she would, especially when she was on the high post, she would play make at times, and because Vegas, led, they were top 2 in 3-point attempts with New York, so she would get a lot of assists off of that. But now when she gets it, she's not looking at all. So that PRA is going to be hard to get over. She's not getting any assist. She's essentially going to have to get 26 points and 11 rebounds. And you brought up a good point about Hamby. Becky said that it's all been about conditioning with her, and she went from 10 minutes to 18 minutes. She said the first game she was gassed completely, like had to take her out because she's just not conditioned. But now it seems like her conditioning is getting better. So the minutes are going to continuously to go up. So we could expect 20 to 22 to 25 minutes maybe.
I was going to say about 20 to 25. Yeah.
So maybe that's going to change some things up. Could affect some rebounding for Asia too. I don't know. I'm too scared. I never like going under on Asia, but these lines are too juiced for me. Her free throws are all the way up to 5 now. She barely cleared that last game, and it took her 8 free throws to do so. She went 6 of 8. Her block steal. Talk to me on that. What you guys think? Do we go back to it, kind of like the Candace thing? Did she? I envision that Connecticut is going to be so aggressive, even more so, and the only way they can score is in the paint. So I feel like they're going to push it even more and try to force plays, and it could increase the blocks. But it was really surprising that she only had 1 block last game.
Yeah, and she had a block in like the first 3 minutes of the game too. It was something like stupid short. I mean, for me personally. Yeah, exactly. And that could be, I think, a slight scare if Bonner's going to be so inactive and so uninvolved in the offense. That has been a spot that has been reasonably fruitful for us to go. But if they're going to change up some of their schemes tonight, even just a little bit, and with the pace of the game is still really high. I know the scoring doesn't reflect that, but the field goal attempts so far for the first 2 games have still been pretty awesome. There's just so many points being left out there. It's for me, I think it's easier to hedge with her history. She's only missed her stocks literally that 1 game since the postseason started. Parker did this to us last time. I think she had like 3 stocks before half. So it's not a core play for me. I don't think any of the Vegas players are going to be tonight, but it's still, I think, a really strong option considering everything for her has been adjusted except for that prop.
Yeah, that's a very fair point there. Okay. Anything else for her? And who is who's dancing with Jackie tonight?
Kate.
Well, it's first of all, Asia. We kind of found this gem. She basically doesn't have any desire to pass the ball ever against this team. She has 2 total assists, Asia, in 5 games, and they both came in the first game. So it's 4 straight games versus Connecticut with 0 assists. So if you want, you could probably hedge her PRA under with her point rebound over, because she's missed the PRA the last 2 games, but she's hit the points plus rebounds in those 2 games. So,
yep,
you know,
she set a record, the playoff record for most consecutive games with like 25 points and 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
Oh, she's unstoppable, really. But keep note of that. We'll come back to that when we get to our underdog plays.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. And talk to me on Jackie. This is the all-time low for her, man. 10.5 points.
Yeah.
She's
Jackie,
earned it.
Yeah. Well, she's just so uninvolved because she's playing with 3 of the most ball-dominant players in the league on the same team, and she's playing like 36, 38 minutes a night, and she just sits in the corner. And she's having so much fun out there just guarding Bonner, and you can tell it's amazing to watch because that's all she's there to do is like just clamp her up, and it's working perfectly. Yeah, so she's defensively. So when we get to Connecticut, I will be taking a play that is basically a Jackie over, but disguised as a Bonner under. Yes, that's what I'll say. I would not
Backdoor
take
Jackie
her.
prop.
Yeah, I would not take her over on her actual props here, just because
Yeah.
it's just so fringy at best.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I would, but hey, you know what? She surprised us in Seattle and closed out Seattle.
Yeah,
She was a big
she
reason
is
why.
a closer. She's got clutch gene in her, but I don't know if they'll need her tonight the way the last game went. But yeah, I probably just stay away. She's just out there for defense, and that's all her job is, to play defense.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. You guys got anything else for Vegas, or are you ready to move on to Connecticut?
Okay, for you, Plum, right? You're talking about Plum for
Yeah.
under 18.5 points. Basically, all game the commentators were like, "How are they letting her go to the left every single time?" That's like,
Oh yeah.
she's never even been tested once going right ever in the whole series. So I think that's another thing that Connecticut will adjust. So
Yeah.
I do like the under. And you guys have a little nugget about like first half between Plum and Jackie. So if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like when one of them takes more field goals, it's at the result of the other one obviously taking less. It's absolutely rare where both have a high field goal attempt for themselves relative to themselves for first half, just because of Chelsea and Asia. So you usually see like Jackie will take like 5 to 6 field goals in the first half, and then or 6 to 8, and then Plum will take 4 to 5 or half that, and then it switches. It's always like about half. I noticed when I went back through the log history. But yeah, I mean, with what you said about Jackie, who knows? She could just continue to take a back seat, and then Plum will continue to take more shots, and if that's the case, she's going to take more shots in the first half. So, but they did juice her first half from 8.5 to 9.5. She rarely clears this, so just because of Asia being so dominant in the first quarter run and first half overall. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, I think there's a lot more favorable props for Connecticut. So let's dive into that.
That's weird to say.
I know it is, but in playoff basketball, I always like targeting the team that has their back against the wall and must win. I mean, Vegas is playing with house money. It is, if they lose, oh well. They have 2 more games. They just have to win one of the 2 remaining. So, with that said, players with their backs against the wall. Connecticut, they do have players that play with pride and try hards, and that's Alyssa Thomas and Courtney Williams. But for Alyssa Thomas, with her, we know she's going to go try hard. But her rebound stayed at 9.5. I wish she went back to 9. She only had 3 rebounds last game, but that's because Bonner had a spike rebound game. Bonner had 7 rebounds. But they still kept their stocks at 1.5. Do you guys think the stocks are still the way to go with her? Because I feel like you'd want some type of exposure to her, just because she's gonna try. She's gonna leave it out on the court tonight. That's the kind of player she is. Kind of like Natasha Howard. So for me, I'm debating between her just full game fantasy because she's gonna try to do it all, or her 1.5 block steal. So talk to me on that, and then I guess everyone's writing Courtney's first half fantasy because it only went up by 1 from 9.5 to 10.5. So that definitely makes sense that she's playing huge minutes in the first half. And then we can dive into the other ones. But Eric, what are your thoughts on? We'll start with AT, then we'll move on from there.
Yeah, AT I think is going to be slightly more difficult to figure out. She's got some really bad home road splits, and I like that actually you'd mentioned about her facilitating the offense a little bit more. One thing that I noticed that really kind of stood out is a lot of their home road splits, when they travel for multiple games on the road, typically that first home game back, she has a big spike in her assist rating. And a lot of those games, she had a minimum of 5 and usually was like around 6 to 8. But in the postseason, we've kind of seen that really go up and down here for some of these, I think, game scripts that have really affected her situation. But she's got to get the ball in her hands more because, like Cade mentioned, with basically having Jackie and Bonner off to the side, we're just playing 4-on-4 ball here. And that's been a thing that Vegas is more than willing to do. They have 4 best players, in the league, all out there playing against your best 4. They're going to dominate that every time. So I think with that being said, we're going to see tonight that Bonner is just going to focus on scoring. She's not going to facilitate. AT is going to have the ball in her hands at every moment possible. JJ is going to be with her 1A, 1B, boxing out and trying to set up down low. But I think tonight we see Williams do the same thing from last game, and they're just going to have Bonner just take shots. That's all we want you to do is just take a shot. Because if they're leaving that isolated game out there and Bonner's not going to be involved, you can't rely on Heidemann. And although Williams is really good in this matchup, and that one game when we were really high on her for her first half fantasy, that's the only time she's missed in the last 4 years in this matchup. So we're going right back to that. It's only a 1-point bump. And I think for
she's
Bonner,
going to play the whole first half, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, leads the team in minutes. Sometimes AT's like right behind her, but typically they're neck and neck, if that. Bonner, though, man, I think either we go points or go stocks. She's going to do one of 2 things tonight. I don't know if I can go with a full fantasy just from us scripting in going for her assist under. That doesn't make sense to go for the fantasy over.
They have her at an all-time low, 11.5 points. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, she shot exactly 1 of 9 in both games, and her shot looked broken. And yes, Jackie's playing great defense on her, but if you go back and look at the game film, like, she is getting open shots and she's just bricking it. She's off. She's either way left or right, or just
she's wide open, bro.
and
the thing is,
hitting the back of the rim.
Those shots she's taking in the mid range, those are her worst percent shots. And Vegas knows it. Becky knows it. That's why they're letting her shoot that.
Yeah.
She loves shooting the corner 3. That's like her favorite jump shot, and she loves getting to the rim. She's not a great mid range shooter, so they're going to keep letting her do mid range.
For sure. And she's not getting to the free throw line because Vegas has been really good. Like Asia, this made an emphasis to just stand straight up and form a wall and just not foul. So, if she's not getting to the free throw line, it's going to be even harder because she was in the playoffs. She was clearing her point problem because she was getting like 4 to 6 free throws a game. Kate, talk to us on Girl Bonner and your play of the day for her.
Bonner, man, Queen Bonner. We're going under the 4 assists. She's never got 5 or more assists in a single home game this season. Not once. At home, her job is to score. It's not to pass. And especially in this kind of game, I don't see her passing. As Eric said, she's probably not going to pass, like, at all. Especially if she's isolated in the corner by Jackie, not going to happen. 5 assists. She could get 4 max, I feel like. 4 max. No chance she's going to get 5 in this game. As you said, AT's going to pick up the facilitating.
Yeah, it worked against the zone
on
Vegas. Yeah,
I'm just going to listen to the history. At home, she's never gone over this season. Not once. She's a much better passer on the road because she's kind of their leader on the road. But at home, I think the whole team overall steps up, and you'll see young man, you'll see AT getting more assists, taken away from Bonner. Last game, she had 2 assists because she was sitting in the corner doing nothing, bricking shots. I just don't see her she's not gonna get many assists in this game.
You know, I'm with you. You talked me onto this prop. I like it. I think a really strong correlation would be to go under her assists and over on AT's assists, because Bonner's spike assists in games in these playoffs, all these playoffs, has definitely hurt AT's assist potential. So if you think that she's going to continue to not play make and look to score more, then AT's probably the one getting her the ball and responsible for her buckets. So I like that correlation, or you can just run it naked under her assist.
So what I would say is, if you look at her playoff history, she's been getting more assists, but you got to remember they're playing Chicago. Chicago allows the most assists, especially to her position. She was perfect matchup for getting her assists. And this is backdoor cuts and stuff. And Vegas is not. They've been really clamped up on that since Seattle did that to them in the second round.
Yeah.
It's
in that zone, they've been killing it. Yeah, it's that zone defense.
Yeah. So her assists almost all came on backdoor cuts, and Vegas is just locking it up.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a really good point. The backdoor cuts is she was racking up those assists.
Also,
but
for
like
AT assists, a good point is the fast breaks. If we're thinking this is going to be a mucked up game and that they're going to force these turnovers, a lot of that's probably going to come from AT. And she's going to lead the fast breaks. She's going to hit the open man. So or the open trailer whenever she gets down court. We saw that a couple of times. She'll just run straight into the paint, turn around, hit the big body, and then just feed the trailer for the open layup. So I think that's a great correlation for the under Bonner assists. That's a good call.
Yeah, for AT assists, she has basically so she's 11 of 14 going over that assist mark at home this season since Jasmine got hurt. So once she became the main ball handler, she's been killing it. The only time she got 5 basically as a floor in these kind of games. She got 2 against Washington, which is a tough matchup for her. So I think she's probably gonna get 5 minimum assists here in this game. Back at home.
Kurt hinted that they could go back to that with her running the point because they switched to that at some point in the game, last game 2, and then that's when she started getting more assists. And maybe if she would have started that way the entire game, she would have cleared because she finished with 4 assists. So
yeah, because I think first half we saw Courtney running a lot of free throws at that point. Yeah,
20 free throw attempts is a killer for those assists.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna get that many attempps
unless it's Euro ball.
That's true.
Unless it's Euro ball.
That's where I wish Euro rules came into play.
Right.
Okay, well, talk to me about JJ. I think she has some favorable lines as well. She's key part, obviously, of the team, former MVP. She's gonna go put up a fight. Not as much, I feel like, as Courtney or Alyssa, but if you had to choose between the two, or you're gonna have equal exposure between her 8.5 rebounds and her first half fantasy, what would you choose, Tito?
Ooh.
Honestly, she's been crushing that first half, man. She's been crushing it, and it hasn't changed.
I guess the only thing that scares me about her rebounds is that we really saw such a low rebounding total for AT. That's my only concern. And she had 11? I mean,
yeah, I totally agree.
I think it's still the safest out of the two. You know what I mean? Because first half is very volatile, but I don't know. It's just AT having 3 rebounds. She's definitely gonna go full try hard mode. I don't know. I don't have a call on it.
I say fantasy score, man. She's first half. She's unstoppable. She's shooting 80% in the paint in the first half. It's so sad because I took the under points, and it's so demoralizing. She'll even get her own when she misses. She'll get it back like Tina, the witch,
exactly,
and put it back up and in. So I definitely say first half.
I think Eric like the rebounds more though, right, Eric?
Yeah, Eric's like the rebounds. And it is 9.5 on Underdog, so for what it's worth.
It should be
Oh, wow.
9, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they lowered that to
Yeah.
8 last game, and we just were all over it.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess I'll talk about the rebounds real fast. I think for me personally, I'll probably have like 60-40, somewhere around that exposure. A little in favor for rebound, just because I think even though we're betting on Connecticut to still win, I think she can definitely get this done in probably 3.5 quarters. Because I mean, if you look at last game, she flew up to 5 rebounds, in a snap, and then stalled out. You know, I mean, basically that entire first half, she didn't have really another one. I don't think.
It's all those damn offensive rebounds, man.
We talked about that last stream. Vegas gives up so many offensive rebounds. I mean, she only had 2, but
just feasting, man.
Yeah.
I mean, every time she got the ball below the hoop, she's unstoppable. And Asia's not even just trying to stop it, really. Just playing careful not to get in foul trouble, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, just the history for this matchup. I know she's been on kind of a decline and up and down since the postseason started, and I think a lot of that, against Dallas, that looks bad on paper, but for her overall stats against this matchup in the previous 4 years, she averages 10.2 rebounds. She's cleared it in 3 of 4 meetings. She's cleared it in the last 6 of 10 postseason games, and when playing 30 minutes or more, she's cleared in 7 of 8. So, assuming that starters are going to get, about the same run that they have last game, I think she could definitely smash this, and it's just way too low being under 9. That's crazy.
Yeah, especially if we're thinking about, again, going back to the game script of just your back against the wall. It's a lower implied total. It's probably going to be more defense, more rebounds to go around. Yeah, I can see that.
I'm not trying to talk anyone off of Jonko getting big minutes here, but we were looking at the Euro basketball, or not Euro basketball, just like the World Cup for basketball. It's in Australia for women's. It starts in about a week, so I'm guessing whenever this series is done, Jonquil, she's gonna fly to Australia instantly. So that's got to be on her mind as well. So I just to note this.
Yeah, it's a long flight. It's over 12 hours.
And if they extend this series to 5 games, she's gonna have to play in a game the day that she lands there, or she's gonna miss a game or something. Or she plays for Bosnia, which is the weirdest thing you've ever seen. Really interesting, but just a note.
Yeah.
Just gotta hope Brianna Jones doesn't have a ceiling game again.
Hope she doesn't waddle to another 10 free throw attempts.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. And we've seen that, 2 games back, that between AT and JJ, they combined for 20 rebounds. So the two of them, they can definitely coexist with this game script. And, as you mentioned, that Bree did cut into some of that, but I just don't see that happening again. And Bonner had a fairly spiky rebound game too. So there's more to go around.
Yeah.
Also, when I was watching the game, I was like, AT would multiple times give up the rebound. She normally would sweat and grab the rebound, and she would let Heidemann, Courtney, even Bonner get the rebound. She would normally grab it and sprint on the fast break, and she wouldn't do it in that game, which is really weird.
Yeah, she didn't seem like she was really focused on getting the other boards.
They definitely can coexist. So I'm not too worried that AT got 3 rebounds. Just a small concern.
I'm totally with you guys. I think definitely core probably these 3 and just rotate different combinations. Especially JJ's first half and her rebounds. But yeah, we all like Courtney's first half fantasy for everything we said. Someone in chat mentioned that we should bring up Asia's free throws. I'm never against it. My only thing is it's so juiced now at 5.
Juiced.
And she's not.
And we cannot depend on the refs here in a game where the other team is going to get the calls.
Yeah.
So
and she's not 100% free throw shooter either. So
yeah, exactly.
She's gonna need it about 8 to 10 attempts to clear it.
Yeah, she's gonna have to get to the line at least with 4 calls, and I just don't see it. I mean, it's always live because it's Asia, and that's what she does. She draws fouls, but not in a situation where you have everything planned against you as far as refs and officiating and defense. It's just no. Not, but it isn't a bad play. It's not a bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's right there on the edge for me, fringe.
Yeah.
Okay, because when it was at 4.5 or 4, I liked it a lot because that's like one less trip to the line needed in my opinion based on her free throw percentage. Let's unless you guys have anything else, let's catch up with chat and let's go straight to underdog and go over differences for WNBA quickly, and then we'll close out with the Eurobasket until we can get to the NFL. I'm gonna go through this quick. Sorry guys, because we gotta try and get all this in. What up, Jeffrey? ECW, fade all the con props. Courtney Williams over first half fantasy exit screaming said, "Yeah, we're all on it." Minutes are gonna be there, so and she's a tryhard, so yeah, I know. Luca Jermaine, Sean, call me crazy, but I think Con wins this game and then Vegas wins at home. So yeah, well, Connecticut would have to win this game and the next game. Yeah,
I don't
send it back to Vegas.
That puts to a game 5. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Harry, whole Connect Sun team are going over their props, including the coach, Kurt, with the list. You guys like Jackie Young under free throws?
I love that call. I was actually looking at that. I was gonna bring it up with the guys.
If it was 2.5, I would have loved it.
I was about to say I looked at 2.
That
it's
2.
2. Oh, it bumped.
Yeah, it's 2.
It
Yeah.
was 2.5. It was.
Because
what it was.
Oh, was it?
Like,
oh no, maybe not.
Yeah,
It was last game.
people are probably hitting under on it. I mean, but the concern is like, what if Vegas
in the corner, dude?
Gotta you gotta worry about icing with her because Chelsea would.
She's the free throw shooter at the end.
Yeah, well, inbound it to her, right?
That's why. I mean, she's just like, she just sits in the corner the whole game. So the only way she's gonna get free throws is at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So if you think it's gonna be a close game and Connecticut will foul if they're down at the end. So and she will shoot them and she will make them. So
yeah, she's
if you think Connecticut blows it out, if you don't think it's a close finish, then I do like it. 2.0 is just.
We've seen her rack up points at the end of games and close out.
Yeah,
icing.
Yeah.
and like I've seen it countless times throughout the playoffs now. Like she always does that same forced layup, and a lot of times she does get the call. So
the and one,
yeah, the and one killed me that game killed me. But
sorry, man.
I mean, she needs one trip. It's just
that's 2.0, man.
That's
that was like Chelsea Gray last series.
Yeah.
She's a very good free throw shooter.
She's not gonna. I doubt she'd miss one. So,
Lorenzo said, "What's up, fam? Give me the young man for the win. Hey, we're all in. One last time for the young man. Run Bree Jones back." Lorenzo says, "Yeah, she's man.
She actually got over this time.
I know she's so hard to figure out though. But if you got a feeling, Lorenzo, roll with it, man.
Yeah,
they need her. They need her offense.
They really do."
Lorenzo said, "It seems like when the big three gets going, Jackie's odd man out."
Yeah, she's just there for defense, man.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of game 1, Jackie got like a bunch of shot attempts.
Yeah.
And the first half of this game 2, she had 2. So.
Yeah.
Plum is aggressive. Plum
7.
is basically the only one that she's stealing shots from.
Yeah.
Plum seems really confident right now. So.
Yeah. KP. Lorenzo said he's going to give Jackie's first half points another shot. It's low. Harry said she just needs to hit 2 threes. Harry said
that's a tough task, though. That's a tough task.
It is.
Because Age is not going to pass the ball. Chelsea might pass the ball, but she doesn't really pass to Jackie. I think it's mostly Plum, or she just gets worked around and then open.
It's either Plum, Asia off like the pick, or she might hit Raquana Williams in another corner, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's just it is risky.
Okay.
I can't advise it.
They want us to look at a big OP wants us to look at Asia's first half fantasy or first point. Sorry. Got
Yeah, they-
juiced.
she's-
Yeah, to 11.5.
Yep, juice.
That's steep. That's steep, man.
Oh,
I just think I think Khan comes out super aggressive.
yeah,
I don't know, man.
I don't want to
It's
bet
Asia. I get
Vegas
it.
first half though. I just
Yeah, I think if you're gonna pick Asia, like if you're dead set on it, points. Don't go anything else. Just points.
Yeah.
Points are the points and rebounds just because it's kind of on a slight discount. PRA is taxed way too much because she's not getting assists at all.
Mm-mm.
So if you think Age is gonna be bad, then PRA unders are pretty good value.
Okay, and chat wants us to, before we close out, they want WNBA. They want us to look at the 6-minute props.
Oh jeez,
So-
long time, man.
Khan's
do it.
back down, still at 1. Did they hit a 3 in the first 6 minutes last game?
Oh, I doubt it.
I don't remember.
I
I don't know if they're.
either.
I don't see them getting 2. I just.
Heidemann missed 1.
Oh no, yeah, they definitely didn't because they missed all 3 of their threes.
Yeah, they don't
The
shoot
whole
enough.
the whole
man.
first quarter, like they missed all 3. So no.
Yeah, they're not.
They're shooting 3 a quarter. I mean, 1. I could see them getting 0. I don't see them getting 2. So if you were to take the prop, I go under.
Yeah, I mean,
Bonner
if you're relying on Bonner and
Yeah.
Letitia
Well,
Heidemann
AT
and
doesn't
John
shoot.
Quell, yeah,
Brown
you don't
doesn't
want to go.
shoot. Yeah.
You don't want to go there for.
I don't see
threes.
2 at all for.
Or just make
for
sure you
people.
run it in that game script, like with Bonner points or Heidemann PA or something.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
Okay. You guys have any interest in a 2-point field goal made? They're both at 4, or how about the free throws? Free throws kind of make some sense because of like, game script, but kind of being aggressive and maybe getting the calls. But Vegas is, like I said, they're really good about not fouling, especially Asia and near the basket stuff.
Yeah.
It's fringy.
Yeah.
It's
It's
fringy.
all fringy, man. 6 minutes.
And we can't trust Khan's offense for anything.
4 though. I think if you're gonna take Connecticut over 1, I think 4.0 2-point field goals definitely a better chance to clear than 3-pointers. I think.
Yeah.
They mostly all shoot. I mean, AT doesn't shoot threes. Brianna does not shoot threes. I don't know if she'll come in time, but
And then
she's
you
trying to
also
start
got
it
the
up, so.
you also got the young man just like
Young
jacking
man,
up
the
middies
mid-range, man.
and yeah.
Sean Livingston mid-range.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Breaking them.
It's just a high number, but
I mean,
Okay. Should we head
That's
over
true.
to Underdog? Let's
do it.
do you guys have any strong leans that you want to share for WNBA on Underdog? Oh yeah, you did, right?
Yeah, we looked at this. So we talked earlier. So it's still 13.5. So Asia does not get assists in the matchup at all. Like she'll get 1 max in this game. So 13.5 rebounds and assists, basically a 13.5 rebound line. Basically, you can hedge it with the 11 rebounds. There's basically 0% chance that she clears. She goes over on the rebounds. Or sorry, what am I saying? 0% chance that she's going to get like 10 rebounds and 4 assists. It's not happening.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, if you wanted to hedge it, that's like a perfect hedge because there's a lot of room there for it to fall in between 11, 12, 13 rebounds.
It won't get sweaty unless she has like a spike rebound game, and
she's gonna have to
usually
go
her
up.
max out is like what 13ish, 12 to 13ish, especially now
Yeah.
with Con. I mean, Con is just a huge team, so there's that.
But the best rebounding team, and
exactly.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, you have Vegas bringing back Hamby, who's a larger player who crashes the glass. They're still running Stokes out there, so those rebounds are getting dispersed. So
Facts.
I just I think
Hamby too. So
exactly if you think that Asia's going to have a spike rebound game, don't take it. But I think the only way she does get there is how we kind of spoke before, is that it's a lower implied total. We don't expect the pace to really slow down, but it could be more missed shots. So that's one thing to be a little concerned about. But I just think that it's just good value. I mean, that's a discount for sure.
yeah. So
any other
Chelsea.
to pair with it?
Well, so pair. But so Chelsea's 32.5 PRA on there. She has not cleared that in like last 10 games against Connecticut. She got
Underdog
32 in the
has
last
the
game.
highest price for it too. On Sports
Yeah.
Battle, it's only 32. So
Yeah,
you-
it's juiced.
yeah,
She's gonna have to play like. I mean, she's been on another level in the playoffs, but after the disrespectful media comments, after her hitting those two like crazy 3-pointers, there's no way that they don't play with their pride and say we are not letting Chelsea score 20 points again. I
yeah.
just don't see her getting 33 PRA. That's crazy to me. For a pair, what were we like? I think we kind of liked the rival AT versus Plum, right, for the PRA.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see
Tough.
Plum
We
having the
do
same
assists as
game.
well for AT, but it's tougher finding a pair on here
Yeah,
because we have
they
less
do have
options.
they do have AT rebounds assists too at 14.5, which is kind of interesting considering that she could get the exact same amount of boards as Asia and she has the assist upside too.
That's true.
So
Ooh,
kind of interesting. Not
that's a
not
good
as good
point.
a value, but I think it's kind of low for her. For what that, she can
Rebounds and
do.
assists.
Yeah, especially if we think that
Wait, rebounds and assists. Who gets the
yeah,
bonus?
huh?
Who gets the bonus for it? Like who's getting in addition to theirs on there? Let's see this. If AT's getting the bonus, that's crazy. Let's see. Wow, AT plus 1.5. Yeah, I love that. I love that
Yeah.
because AT's like her line is actually higher than Asia's for rebounds plus assists, and she's
hmm
also getting plus 1.5 on it extra.
I like that. I like that a lot
Yeah,
actually.
I really like that. I think that's it. I think it's supposed to be Asia plus 1.5
hmm
because Asia she doesn't get any assists.
Okay, yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
I think that's a
I like that
mistake.
a lot. Yeah, I like that
But
a
we,
Not a
lot.
big
we,
one,
we can't
obviously, but
we can't throw that in the same card.
Yeah, we
But
can't.
we
Yeah,
can just remove the Asia what's it called Asia
under.
13.5. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah. I mean, I
Do that
think
one
both.
instead, and then we could
Yeah,
run that.
I think both is scripting the same thing.
That
You
feels
have a
really
little
good.
more factors with a AT there, but I mean, I think one is way too
AT could
high
get a
and one's
triple
too
double.
low. Yeah, yeah.
This is a game she could definitely get a triple double.
I could easily
Um,
see her having 15, 8, and 7, honestly. I mean, that's just what she does.
great
all right, well,
find,
let's
great
give
find.
some Euro plays. Euro's still not on PrizePicks yet, so it's
Mm,
on
Boo.
Underdog.
Johnny
Let's go
scared.
talk.
Scared.
Let's talk about our favorite remaining player in the tournament, Panicka.
Bonitka, I love this guy, man. He triple
That's a
double last
dog.
game. Unreal. This guy's he's
Wasn't
on another
wasn't even
level.
like a normal one. It was 26, 16, and
Yeah,
10. Like he
yeah,
dominated. He had the
yeah.
performance we
Versus
thought Luca
Luca.
would have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He did Luca's job for him, and he's like pass first, which
yeah,
is
that
crazy. He
and
did
they didn't
not
juice it at
raise his
all.
lines. Oh man, I hope he's not like tired because that probably took a lot out of him. But yeah,
And
they're playing
also
they're
it
playing
probably
who?
helps Panika's
France.
assist too, if we think about it. Transition points. We know France gives up a
Facts.
lot of turnovers.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah,
Yeah, they turn it
Yeah,
over a ton.
yeah,
France gives it the most turnovers.
yeah,
Ponica, they're probably gonna key on him because they saw what he did last game.
yeah,
They're not
yeah,
gonna let him drop 30 on him. So even more reason like the assist. I'll
definitely.
let you do Tice. That's all you.
And I mean, Poland has scorers around him too. It's not like
Facts, facts.
he's just there alone. They have AJ Slaughter, they got Alec, they got Soko. I mean, they have fairly decent scorers around him. So if he gets trapped, I could definitely see him having like a 9, 10 assist game for sure.
Love it.
And other one is the lock of the day, boys. The only time we'll ever say Daniel Tice is the lock of the day. I mean, his 13 points and rebounds, that's just absurd. I mean, that's absolutely absurd. He was clearing that in 20 to 23 minutes. the past few games. He hasn't played as many games as the rest of other players. I think he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. He's cleared it 3 times. He hooked 1 time in 20 minutes, but this is elimination time, and they're going to run him. And these NBA players have been showing out. I mean, last game he played Greece, and he had 29. He had 29 PR, which is absolutely crazy. So if we think that he's definitely going to be in the minutes, then yeah, you gotta go right back to it. Plus, there's that traffic cone in there, Willie.
I was gonna
So
say he needs a traffic cone.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, he's terrible.
So you have him in there. I mean,
Oh,
I think that's just what he's priced to play 20 minutes.
yeah, he cleared
Like,
it in 23 minutes against the same team. So
And
and I
he,
mean,
I think, right?
yeah.
Or was it versus France?
Well,
I'm not sure. But
he
yeah,
for
he
France.
clears it every time he's getting these minutes, and he's getting 30.
Yeah,
and he's
the
draining
only
threes. And
yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
only concern that I did find for him was foul trouble. That's my only concern for him.
That's
he has
true.
5 fouls for Euro, and you're out.
Oh yeah,
Will he
and
be on
he's
Willie
fouled.
or will he be on Juancho?
Ooh,
That's the question.
I would assume Willie,
Yeah, I
but
would assume so.
he's fouled out 3 times, which is a little scary. Just
How did he do
slightly
last game
scary.
though? Let's see.
Against Greece, he only had 2,
That's
so
huge. I mean,
that's actually pretty
that's
interesting. But
that's
we
Giannis
also
going at him.
but we also know Giannis has really been jacking up threes too.
Well, he has been, but he's still Giannis. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, that's very fair. I mean, he had 2 against France.
2?
Yeah, 2. He had 2 against France and Greece. He had 3 against Bosnia, and then against Lithuania, Slovenia, and Montenegro, he had 5. So
Okay,
that's
okay.
that's like the only concern I can find for him. But
Those guys,
again,
he's not really playing against like NBA centers in those matchups, right?
not
I think
not really.
yeah. So Willie's an NBA player, or he was an NBA.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what he's up to right now, but I think that's definitely Tice probably accepts the challenge. He's like, okay, well, I got to be careful, not foul.
yeah. I mean,
So
even at 20 to 25 minutes, I mean, we're talking about he could potentially he averages maybe like 23 minutes, and he's a big, and it's going to be almost half of his PR line. I mean,
yeah, so he can
we've
get 10 boards.
yeah, we've targeted that countless times in NBA, WNBA, just basketball in general. When bigs lines are that much lower than like the minutes they could potentially play, you got to play it. You got to play it.
Love
No
it.
doubt. And he gets Garuba too, who's another
Mm-hmm.
traffic cone.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic cone.
Okay, so I love this. I'm liking. I don't play underdog, but I'm loving this card. Whoever does play it, definitely roll with it. Really good feeling on it.
Oh, you
If
put
someone
Javi in
wanted
there.
to do a 5 pick,
Sorry.
is our boy Zabby the 5th pick?
I
I
like
don't
that.
mind him. I don't. I do wish that his line was still at 7.5 because he
Yeah.
can chuck it from 3.
Gobert is super juiced, 15.5.
Yeah,
Been
yeah.
getting
Gobert's
around
used.
there, but he needed overtime last game, I think.
Yeah,
He
he
got a
did.
lot of free throws too. He lucked out in that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you don't want Zabby, do you guys want to go back to Hurdle, the
Hurdle.
vet?
Oh, he clutched it up for us, man.
What a
I
guy.
mean, I think you could do that, or since we like Panicka assist so much, you could just pair it with one
That's
of
true.
his scores. I lean
Yeah.
Soko personally, but you could also do that.
Balcerowski, that guy just oh my gosh. 9 points in the
Oh.
first quarter and played 3 minutes the rest of the game
Kid
and
Rock.
fouled out.
Kid Rock.
I don't know. I think it would make sense. Poland, their defense is not good. Yes, they Luka struggled, but that was for many reasons. I think that Hurdle is so good on transition, and Poland gets in the backdoor in the cuts they allow the basket. He could rack up assists, and he could drain threes. So maybe consider his points and assists. I don't know.
I was thinking that it's taxed, but
it is.
We did see him last game really kind of step up the scoring offense whenever the team was starting to get cold. He really had to clutch up the assist in overtime. Like literally the last 15 seconds, he got 2 assists. Little sweaty, but that is a good point about the amount of backdoor cuts Poland allows. I think it's safe enough, even with that one tax, to go with PA because he's going to do it all. They need him. He's a vet. He could take over scoring or he could take over playmaking. Only concern you have again is the other pieces on that team. So Fournier could go complete black hole mode, or we even saw what's his name, TLC, like just completely just almost ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
Which is horrible usage. We saw Yabu just come out and take over the usage, so that's one thing to be concerned about. I don't even remember if if Portal started last game.
He did not
He
start.
didn't start.
Yeah, he
He
didn't
started
even
the
But he
start
second half.
last
closed.
game.
But
He
he
did
never
close.
checked out. He never checked out in the fourth.
He did close.
Yeah, he
So
played like the entire second half.
yeah,
So.
and then OT on top of that. So
Yeah.
there's risk behind it based off of usage, but I like that call. I think PA is pretty safe, and if you don't want to do that, then assist is pretty nice too.
Yeah, either one. Okay. I like this card. It's a really solid build here. So I'll take a screenshot, share it at our fam in the Discord, and whoever's watching, and please underdog, get behind that. Anything else, or move on to NFL close out?
I mean, you could always go back and try to take a shot on Wancho under.
Dude.
My thing is
Need
that
revenge.
I really wanted it to be like 13 and a half for me to go under. I would have felt really comfortable there. 12 and a half.
Priced correctly.
It scares me from last game because he played so many first half minutes and that usage was
Yeah.
just absolutely insane. I don't know if it was a fluke or what, but the past couple games, which has been elimination games, he's been stepping up, playing big minutes, taking shots, scoring. So it's mid tier for me. I want to because I can't stand him, but it's mid tier.
Yeah, I'm with you. And then yeah, Schroeder was like he's been crushing his assists, but this is a terrible matchup. Spain has been one of the best defenses in the tournament. So it's gonna be a tough road with that getting over. I think it was 6.5 last game, his assist line.
Yeah. I mean, they also have Fournier points at 17 and a half. That's kind of high, but again, he could go complete black hole mode and
He will.
so,
I wonder if Poland focuses their defense. The coach seems to like to take out the primary scorer, so maybe they.
Yeah.
Fournier is like, which is sad for France, and that's why all the commentators and analysts for Euro are like, how is France still here? We don't know how they're doing it, but
it's Wordle, man. It's
yeah,
Wordle.
well, no, but Fournier is their primary scorer, and when Fournier is your primary scorer, man, that's scary.
That's kind of why I think I lean a little bit more towards Wordle's PA. PA too. If they do decide to take out Fournier completely, then you could see Wordle just step up and start taking some more threes.
Oh yeah, he will. He'll dominate shot volume. Even more so over Yabu and then Gobert would just get his usual lobs.
There's that other guy too, Albasi, something like that. Yeah, he came
They were
in.
running the
He
offense through him in the first half. Yeah,
yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
They were banking on him, man.
But let's not also forget that how many missed assist opportunities there were because Gobert couldn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
But that's it.
All right, NFL time. Eric, you want to go over some stuff you have for the game tonight, and then we'll also share like a few of our favorite plays for Sunday because as of right now, the lines have been shifting constantly. Even the game, not only the game tonight, but the games on Sunday. So I think if you want to get on some of these props early for the Sunday, it would make sense and take advantage of. So, Eric, what are your core so far for the Thursday night game? If people wanted to combine with the WNBA game tonight.
Yeah, I still honestly need to fine tune this because they bumped 3 out of the plays that I was pretty high on. One of them was Bosa, which I think he's still decent for a play tonight, but I love that at 2.5. That was, I wouldn't say free, but it was, minus 160 on DK Sport. It's still in play, I think, but another one that we were going to be fairly high on was Snead. He was at 6.5 tackles and assists, and they bumped him down. I think it's still in play, but a slight bit more of a risk just being at 6. I don't mind it just because they still are not going to have Keenan Allen tonight for the Chargers, and they're going to be throwing it to a bunch of scrubs. It's basically just going to be Mike Williams and Eckler, and pray to God somebody else catches it. With that being said, they still actually have a really good odds on Eckler's 4.5 receptions. He should have at least, I would say, probably 7 to 8 targets tonight. If he even catches half of those, and then some, we should be good. Another one that I really like was Clyde Edwards, his fantasy score. If it's still at 14, going under, he would basically.
I love that one.
Yeah, and thankfully, I think it still hasn't moved, but that was one of my favorite plays. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's still not bad. It probably, I think it was at like minus 140 or 145. So it's probably minus 130, somewhere around there. It's not a top tier play, but I think it's still pretty solid. For 2 reasons. One, he's just going to need a touchdown and some serious production. But 2, his backup, was it McKinnon or McKissick? He played really well this last game too, and he does a lot of damage out of passing and out of the backfield with receiving yards. And even though they both lit it up this last game, I think we're going to see closer to a more even snap share between the 2 running backs here. And we know that Patrick Mahomes is going to light it up through the air, so there's just a lot of things really kind of working negatively to them tonight.
Yeah, and Chargers have a very stout run defense, and also defending against pass catching backs. Pacheco, he got some run, but that was because it was a blowout against the Cardinals, so he got more run at the end. But yeah, McKinnon is the 3rd down back. That's his role, so he'll come in on 3rd and longs, or if for any reason the Chiefs are trailing in the game, he could even get a spike in snaps because they use him more in the passing role. So the Clyde, he crushed his fantasy last week because he got lucky with some receiving touchdowns against a non-existent Cards defense, which looks atrocious. I definitely went under on that last night, and I went under on DeAndre Carter when he was at 9.5. Now he's down to 7.5. So a lot of our favorite lines since last night have shifted. This is what I'm talking about. Like, if you like a line for Sunday, I would get on it. I know you have to wait and have money held up and pending, but they're going to move. Did you have any others? And I'll share a couple in addition for the game tonight, or anybody.
Yeah, what about you guys? Any leans?
Yeah, well, not for tonight, but I got a college football play I like quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
for Saturday.
We'll
Yeah, so whenever you guys want to get to that,
I'll just finish this off for the Thursday night game. Still hasn't moved. I don't think. I don't like it as much as the lines that have moved, but I still like Juju at 58.5 yards. Had over 8 targets. It's when Mahomes, he always keyed in on like 2 guys primarily. It was like Tyreek and Travis last 2 years, and then now Juju is taking over that Tyreek role, and he should get the same amount of volume going forward. It's going to be the Kelsey Juju show. So, I mean, Hardman and MVS, they're not good. Mahomes, very accurate downfield, and Juju was getting like a 10-yard air dot on plays. These weren't just dump downs in the like slants in the middle or short passes. He was getting deep balls. So the 58.5, I think, in a potential shootout, which you're really hoping for, is too low in my opinion. And remember, this game was over by the 3rd quarter, into the 3rd. So if Chiefs were pushed the envelope even more and had to air it out in the 4th quarter, he would have crushed even more. Probably would have had over 100 yards. So I still like that. It hasn't moved. And then the other one is Herbert's rush yards. He last season he finished with 16 rushing yards in both games against the Chiefs, and a big reason is the Chiefs do not blitz him. They blitzed him about 24% of the time in both matches last season. And with him not getting pressured in blitz, he has more time to read the field, and if coverages break down, he has a more open field to run the ball. So if they're playing from behind, even more so, and Chiefs are in prevent defense, he could, scramble and just pick up yards, go out of bounds, stop the clock. So I like the 13.5 yards because everything else is so juiced for him. All of his pass attempts, completions, yards. Only other one I would say is his fantasy. If you think the Chargers keep it close and shoot out, and then Mahomes, he's always live, but all his stuff is juice. So that's kind of where I lean. And then the tackles, I would consider Adderley. So the Chiefs love, like I said, going to Kelce, and he's going to be in the middle of the field. So safeties rack up tackles. Kelce is getting 8 to 10 receptions a game, and that's all going to be safeties because safeties are going to shadow him and help out the slot corner that comes over and marks him. So the safeties rack up the tackles, and as a result, if you look at the game against the Cardinals week 1 for the Chiefs, the lead tackles in that game for the Cardinals were all safeties. They had like 10 plus tackles because of Kelce and Juju also running in the seam in the middle of the field. So I think you can consider hedging and doing either Derwin or Adderley here. I know it's right on the line for them for their season average last year, but just due to how the Chiefs run their offense and run it through Kelce, safeties make total sense going against the Chiefs. And other than that, that's it for Thursday night. I guess, Kate, do you want to go over the college football, and then we can go over some of our favorite Sunday lines before they get bumped for the weekend?
Sure. So for pass completions, Wisconsin's quarterback, Graham Mertz, I've watched the guy for like 3 years now. I think he's really been a disappointing prospect coming out of high school, and this is a team that's very run heavy, and they are 5 touchdown favorites. Last year when they were playing a non-conference opponent and they won the game, they passed the ball at max 17 times in the game. He needs to complete all those passes to clear it. It might look accurately priced, but this is a team who has a running back who's like a Heisman candidate. They're going to feed this guy the ball. He's basically going to get like 150 yards rushing probably and like 20-25 carries minimum. And this guy will be one of the first players to the bench when the blowout comes. They're playing one of the worst teams imaginable. I watched this team myself. They basically ran 30 plays in their week 1 game. They won't need to pass the ball at all. They have no need to pass the ball, and 17 completions is a lot for a guy who's, what I've seen, he misses a lot of short passes, like easy passes. He's going to have to play nearly perfect, and somehow the other team's going to have to put them on the back foot, and they're going to be playing from behind. It's 5 touchdown favorite. It's not going to happen. Feels really safe under, in my opinion, because if you look at his game log, they are only passing the ball with him more than 20 times when they are losing the game. That's it, and they will not be losing this game. They won't be down for even a second in this game. So
yeah,
that'll be my play, and we can compare that with some NFL for Sunday. Or tonight, whatever you'd like.
Or tonight, yeah. You just have to wait a couple days.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
But I'm going to assume that's going to be bumped or removed at some point.
Yeah, I already threw in some cards. Speaking of NFL Sunday, I'm going to go over just a few because, we got about 10 minutes and want to hear Eric's picks as well for Sunday if he has any early lanes. But for me, I really, really loved Trubisky when it was that 17.5 fantasy, but last night, and now it's gone down to 15.5. He's he's not it, man. He was averaging 5 yards per completion week 1, and his only touchdown was to Najee, and Najee is banged up. He's gonna play, but he's still banged up. The Patriots, the Dolphins exposed them and dominated that game, but Tua only had 14 fantasy points. I just don't see Trubisky still even getting over this 15.5. So that's his rush yard, but his 15.5 adjusted fantasy line now. We know Mitch. He's not it. He's not that dude. I also like Another one I like is it's kind of a little bit risky because it's first half and it's kicking, field goal kicking, but just due to the game setup environment is the first half fantasy for the kicker, Cade York. All he needs is one 40-yard field goal and he clears it. We know how bad Brissett is. He looked awful week 1. I mean, just atrocious. He was throwing it into the bleachers. But we know that Cleveland's going to get it done on the ground. So you got to imagine that against the Jets, Chubb is going to eat, Hunt's going to eat. They're going to get in the red zone early. So even if they score a touchdown, that's one fantasy point, and then all he needs is one field goal in the first half, and you're over. So I like that. And the same could be said for Santos for the Bears. Packers' red zone defense is solid. And it's in Green Bay Sunday night. All he needs is one field goal on less than 40 yards, and it's a push. If it's a 40-yard field goal, bam, you're over again. So it has a real safe chance of pushing. Only risk though, it's Justin Fields, who's just also not that dude, and the Packers defense is actually pretty solid and home opener on Sunday night. So they could stall, not even get in the red zone in the first half. That's a little more second to the Cade York. I really like the Cade York. And then another one I liked is Davis Mills under 15 fantasy. This is another terrible quarterback in my opinion. I know people hyping him up, but he played at Stanford here, went to saw him play live, and this guy's not it. And he's going to Mile High, to Broncos coming off a really embarrassing loss to Seattle and Geno. And yeah, I mean, they're gonna. It's hard, with a dome team traveling, especially in Colorado, in the elevation, in Mile High. That defense is gonna be ramped up. Mills barely got over this 15 fantasy points week 1, and he played went to the entire overtime and game ended in a tie, and he still barely went over with 1.5 fantasy points. And the Colts secondary is not as good as the Broncos. So, and we know Brandon Cooks likes to play in the dome. He's much better in the dome. He's not as good on natural grass. So that's his primary target. Who's going to get him those fantasy points and touchdowns? I really like that with him and Trubisky unders on their fantasy, and we'll wait on other tackles props to come out. And then one other one to finish off on is it's also a little volatile to tax in my opinion, but we'll have to watch the news on Packers. Both their best offensive linemen, Elton Jenkins and David Bakhtiari, are both still questionable. They missed week 1, and as a result, Rodgers was running around for his life. He got sacked 4 or 5 times. And the Bears defense is no pushover. They're looking like the old Bears defense as of late. And yeah, I think 2 sacks. I mean, that's a real safe chance of pushing if not one or both of the offensive linemen are out for the Packers. And their offense just does not look good since Devontae has left, and Alan Lazard still remains out. So Rodgers still has no one to throw to. So I like that. Feel safe for a push. Both these teams, long history, and it's a Sunday night game, and Bears going to come out hungry. And Rodgers is way, way less mobile than what he used to be. So I like those. And Eric, did you have anything you want to share, like key 3 or 4 props, or 2 or 3?
Real fast, I actually wanted to go back to tonight. Gerald Everett, his receiving yards, I absolutely love it. It's honestly just right there on his normal average. But with him not having Allen now, we saw that easily they were taking a lot of looks to him. If KC's defense is going to be stepping it up, and if they're going to continue actually to be blitzing around on the ends, he's going to get so many free backdoor looks that, he's just going to run out to the open field. And we saw that actually happened this last week. He had a bunch of he was standing in there by himself out in the field. He's not fast, but he can at least break to the sideline. His targets are in line with the prop being a little bit too low. I think they had his targets at like 5 or 6. But on the DK, he's getting reasonable odds for it too. And I think he's going to have to be a piece in this offense. They're going to shut down Mike Williams and force him to run it out of the backfield with Eckler and dump it off to the side with him.
Yeah, I like it too. I'm with you on it. He's a talented tight end. We saw it with the Rams, so I get behind that. Kansas City their defense is nothing to be scared of. So I'm with you on that. And did you have any others for tonight or Sunday? We'll close out.
Done yet for Sunday, man. I've just swamped in with disc golf. Slayed it today. If you guys build any of that.
The what?
I was saying we slayed it in disc golf today.
Oh, good.
Yes, we're killing any of that. But once they give us the tackle list, I'm going to definitely focus on that, at least for Sunday, and just pick through the goodies of any outliers.
Yeah, last week they gave they started dropping more tackles. It was like Friday evening or Friday night, I remember. So I imagine they'll start coming out then. Yeah, it was Friday evening throughout the night they were dropping them, and then they were dropping them all the way up until Sunday. So I have to keep an eye out for that for sure. Am I missing anything? Chad, do you have anything on NFL?
Just keep an eye out for glitches. We've already had 4 errors posted just today alone. I think we had 1 yesterday, and last week we had 8 between Wednesday and Thursday. So just keep an eye out on those 2 days during the week.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, especially the first half, because that's kind of a newer thing for them for NFL, so might be more prone to errors. That's a good point. All right, gentlemen, it's fun as always. This might be the last time for WNBA talk on the stream. So we'll see. I think it'll be bittersweet, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, 1 more month and it's full season. We got NBA right around the corner.
Yeah,
well, I mean, we still got Euro World Cup. Yeah,
World Cup. Sorry, not Euro World Cup. Yeah,
we still got World Cup ball, and
basketball
I mean,
never
USA
stops,
will
man.
be fun. USA will be fun to bet on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that starts in about 7 to 10 days, I think. 7 to 8, somewhere around there, a week or so.
They might even give us a preseason for NBA too.
Yeah.
Oh, they will. They will.
So never ends. Basketball never ends. But
never ends, man.
The WNBA has been fun. If this is the last stream, I love it, man. I look forward to it next season.
It was a good ride, gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
It was.
Let's hope Khan goes home tonight so that John Quill can go ahead and fly to Bosnia.
Or just going to Australia.
Australia.
Worse.
Down under. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina will be waiting for her there.
Yeah, and Stokes. Stokes will be there too.
Come on, man. Leave Stokes alone.
All right, guys. Jeffrey said, any cards? We went over plays and cards. We'll share our favorite plays in the rankings channel on our Discord, which is free to join in the description below. And then we'll also share it on our Twitter space, all of us. So if you want that info, it's also in the description. But keep an eye out for that. And yeah, we have plenty of time for WNBA because that game starts in 2 hours. NFL starts in an hour, about 20 minutes. So we'll try to get out maybe the NFL first and then get out to WNBA list after that. But I definitely think you should consider combining NFL and WNBA today because just Vegas not having favorable lines, and if you wanted to do a mini con stack with a couple of NFL, makes total sense. All right, guys, you guys got anything else?
Good luck tonight.
Good luck.
All right, man. That was fun, guys. Good luck, everyone.
Peace out.
Peace.
Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it goes strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with how it plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Arrogant shots on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all know what time you can't make up your mind, then just go with your gut. Fantasizing, Sasha Clown. Gabby Williams said, watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I play the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population.